Hi, I'm Cheryl Janoski. I'm a certified primal health coach, fitness trainer, and owner of Mission Wellness. I'm also a mom of two crazy little guys and a wife to an awesome husband. So today our topic is moving into fitness. As we talk about fitness, I think that many people probably believe that it's harder to be healthy and fit than it really is. The number one thing you have to toggle first is your diet and your nutrition. When you get that moving in the right direction, getting into fitness is pretty easy. So let's talk about what some of these fitness guidelines are. Let me share my screen with you. So as we have this conversation about fitness, I really want you to think about the word moving into fitness. Movement here is the key. We want to focus on daily movement. And it's something that you need to know is that all the little pieces that we do are cumulative, okay? And one thing that we want to avoid is chronic cardio. Before I embarked on my own journey, I was running all the time. I had a big bob stroller and 100 pounds, a little boy in there, and I ran in Eastern Washington, which is a really hot desert environment in the summer. I ran hard, and I ran probably 4 times a week, maybe more, pushing that stroller around. And I have to tell you, I wasn't making a lot of progress because at that point, my diet wasn't dialed in, but also that kind of stress on the body was actually, I was causing some damage. My knees were hurting and my hips were hurting. So anyway, fast forward to today, after becoming a primal health coach and a fitness trainer, I've got some good news for you. It doesn't have to be that hard, and you can avoid the chronic cardio. It doesn't take gargantuan efforts of cardio just to get you to normal everyday person, health and fitness levels. So let's talk about what is a good approach and a sensible and sustainable approach to fitness. So here's our primal blueprint fitness pyramid. As you can see, the basis of this pyramid is just moving frequently, increasing our daily movement. All those little things add up. Parking further away, using the stairs. These are some things that we've heard before. They absolutely do benefit you. And including like the flexibility and mobility work, doing lots of stretching. Maybe you can, find yoga. You can find yoga classes and on your DVR or on your cable channels. So that base of low level cardio actually is very easy to achieve. So the cardio workouts are at an estimated 180 minus your age for your heart rate target. You can hit this either, walking, low level jogging, any kind of like low level swimming or paddle boarding, hiking, walking, riding your bike, playing with the kids. I have to tell you, my just keeping up with my kids, it requires a lot of movement. Doing the laundry requires a lot of movement in my house. But anyway, so aside from that basis of just keeping your body flexible and limber and keeping it moving, all of those things are inputs to your body. Everything we do affects the expression of our genes. So the more we tell our bodies, we need you to be flexible and lean and fit to handle the demands of our life, the more our body will seek to adapt and accommodate what we are asking of it. So start there, moving frequently at that 180 minus your age heart rate. And the reason for that also is when you stay at that 180 minus your age, you are staying in a fat burning zone. And if you are looking to, drop a couple of extra pounds, then that zone is an easy place to stay in. It's an easy place to get there. It's not terribly strenuous and it's all fat burning. So bonus, right? I thought like that was really great news when I learned about that. So on top of that, we have lifting heavy things. We need to challenge our muscles. We need to challenge our body's frame. So this is like, lifting weights, brief, intense resistance exercises. It can be lifting weights. It can be body weight exercises. I'm a TRX trainer. I love using the TRX because it's easy on the joints and it's highly modifiable. You can increase or decrease the intensity pretty quickly. And this is something that's easy to achieve. Again, 2 times per week for 10 to 30 minutes. That's all you need. I mean, for baseline good health and wellness and for getting fit. Obviously, if you have goals of being like a CrossFit competitor, you're going to follow a different kind of program. What we're talking about here is achievable for your normal everyday person. So twice a week, some kind of weightlifting or even resistance. You can even use bands, TRX, body weight, thinking, more like Pilates moves, that kind of thing for lift heavy things. Then every now and again, you really want to haul ass and sprint. You're just going to have to bust out and do something really intense. So sprinting is a burst. It's like 8 to 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, depending on what activity you're doing. And it's hard in that moment. You are really you're going balls out on this one, right? You're just really investing yourself into it. I can just briefly about how to make this happen for you. You can make sure you warm up with lots of some low-level movement of that same exercise. So if I were running, I'd do some fast walking, I'd do some light jogging, and I would do hip opener walking, maybe some lunge walking, knee huggers, that kind of thing to warm all of the pieces up. If I were going to be doing a rowing sprint or an elliptical sprint, I would do something similar, but on that piece of equipment. Running sprinting is good because it is high impact, so it does tell your body to make stronger bones. So that's one of those inputs. So that if you are not injured in any way and you are healthy enough to conduct a sprint outside, an actual running on the ground sprint, then that's awesome. But you don't have to. You can also use the rowing machine. You can use an elliptical. You can even use weighted squats or whatever is challenging and hard for you. Maybe it's burpees. Maybe it's going up the stairs in your house, going up quickly and then walking down, running them up and walking them down. Whatever you do, choose something that's safe for you. But anyway, so you warm up in that exercise and then you go all out from 8 to 20 or even 30 seconds, depending on what your activity is. And then you bring that heart rate back down. Some people even lay on the floor or lay on a bench to get that heart rate down quickly and activate that parasympathetic nervous system. And then once you return to normal breathing, you go at it again. And you do this for maybe a total of 4 to 6 times. So when you're in that moment of going out, it is really as hard as you can do for that period of time. And then you do a little recovery, do a little, just a little cool down after, and make sure you do your stretching after your exercise, not before. You want to do your dynamic movement warm up ahead of time and do some stretching and walk it off for a little bit afterward when you're done. That's it. And you only line up that sprint day. You do that sprint day when you're feeling really good and energetic. If you're coming down with a cold, or you had a bad night with the kids waking you up, or it's super stressful at work, maybe that's not the time to do that sprint. You need to be feeling good, like high energy, when you do that. So also, what's kind of like on the sidebar, the side areas of our pyramid here, we have play and recover. These things are important. Like back when I was doing that chronic cardio, I was running all the time. I probably wasn't recovering enough because I was also doing other stuff in between, thinking that I would reach my goal faster, but it was actually holding me back because of all of the additional stress hormones involved with that over-exercising that I was doing. And so you know what? Recovery is beneficial. It's during recovery that those gains are made. It's during recovery that, the muscle is reconstructed. And, it's incredibly beneficial to your body to have that. Yes, work hard on some days, but take it easy on the others, okay? And play. Oh my gosh, play, spontaneous stuff, things without rules, right? We're talking tag, play with the dog, go play with the children. My children have these foam swords. They are an amazing workout. They're almost a sprint trying to run away from my children and play with these things, because I have to tell you, my kids are catching up with me. At ages 10 and 12, they're getting pretty fast. So anyway, so there's some ideas there. So as we move through this, I want you to think about, an intuitive exercise approach. We kind of mentioned that with regard to the sprinting. So when you're starting your day, you don't have to do the same routine all the time. It's actually good to kind of switch it up a little bit. But also, I would like for you to take stock of how do you feel? How does your body feel? Are you still sore? Do you feel well rested? Did you sleep? the night before? Um, do, do you feel healthy, or do you feel like you're coming down with something? If you feel like you're coming down with something, I'm thinking gentle yoga and stretching is more appropriate than a sprint day. I think we get too beholden to a schedule, and we're afraid to not show up at the gym at a certain day or time. Maybe you should, you're afraid to miss this particular class. Well, maybe you take a different class that's a little more gentle, or you should feel free to own your own fitness there, right? So really take stock of how you're feeling when you're choosing your activity for that day. So here's a tool, by the way. So what the heck? How to assess if your routine is too extreme, right? So this is back to that, getting in touch with how we're feeling. How is our body feeling, and how are we feeling mentally? So think about your usual daily or weekly routine. After that, let's say you did this routine in the morning, mid-morning, or whatever. By the afternoon or evening, is your hunger out of control? Is your energy in the tank? And do you have cravings that are just, like off the chain? Just can't handle it. Now you're really craving sweets or carby things. If this is happening to you, then you need to reevaluate and probably back off or sub out. Maybe if you're doing something the same 5 days a week, maybe you only do that particular item, 3 days a week, and then the other 2 days find something a little less to do, or just back off of the intensity. I know that in a lot of the classes that I take or teach, I encourage people to make that assessment themselves. It's always okay to drop the weights or drop the intensity if you need to. But then again, hey, if you're feeling really chipper and this is your day to go hard, then go hard. Great. So if you need some ideas on ways to squeeze in more movement into your life, you can go to my website and you can find the article there, but you can also just get creative and sneaky about getting that in. One way that I have found to do it is with sports and activities practices. I have children, and I think most of us here probably do. And all of these kids have obligations. They have sports, they have clubs, they have activities, they have band practice, they have all sorts of things that they are required to do. And so there's a lot of waiting time as a parent. So as part of that time, you could get outside, go for a walk, grab another parent that's nearby and catch up and get some social time in as well. It's perfectly okay to sit and watch your little person do their thing, but it is also okay for you to get out there yourself and to get some exercise in. I think it actually models good life balance. It models you being able to prioritize yourself and your own health and wellness. And it's something I think that as your child gets older, they'll appreciate that and then be able to apply those lessons more in their own life as well by what we model for them. Okay. Also, movement breaks at work and at home. A lot of us have desk type jobs or office type jobs or jobs where you're in a car commuting and traveling around a bit. So, take a movement break. Like one good estimate is every 2 hours, take like a 10-minute break that refreshes like the sodium potassium balance, that your brain requires, but it also lets you to get up and stretch and move and get out of that same position. A lot of people also have stand-up desks. I have one. It's very nice and helpful. Sometimes I sit when I'm doing maybe a presentation, but other times I might stand at my desk when I'm doing some research or writing something. You can also do some stretches when you're there at the office. You can do like arm circles, things that pull your chest open and back, because we kind of lean forward when we're into our computers and onto our things like that. So chest open and back, roll your shoulders back and down, arms to the side, roll your, thumbs pointed backwards, do some arm circles backwards and forward. Good stuff there, do some stretches overhead. Again, we're trying to combat that forward lean, and you're sliding your elbows back and down. Do that several times. It just feels wonderful. Seriously. So do things like that. You can stand up and do some quad stretches too, like standing up, grasp one of your ankles, pull your foot up towards your hind end and just kind of stand there and enjoy that for a little bit. Switch sides, of course. Desk-assisted squats, desk-assisted push-ups, going for a walking meeting. All of these things are totally Easy ways to get in a little bit more movement and also some good stretching and mobility work at the same time. So lastly, creative way to get in a little bit more movement is to do a sprint style workout. We've already talked about that one, but in addition to that, once every 7 to 10 days things, if you were just pressed for time and you have 30 minutes in the morning to do something before you have to hop in the shower and start your day, do a sprint style workout. And you can pick almost any activity to make that work for you. We talked about that just a little bit ago, and make it fun. Make it fun. It can be effective, and just get that done. It's better to do a sprint style workout, maybe a short 20 or 30-minute intense workout. Actually, I've done rowing, like on the rower. A sprint style workouts that take less than 20 minutes for sure, maybe even 16 to 18 minutes. You can get those in there, get them done, and you know that you've done something good for your body. So there you go. There's my information that I wanted to share with you today about moving into fitness. If you want some more resources, there are some good places to go. And if you have any questions, you can also email me or tell me what you're thinking. I would love to, in terms of creative ways to squeeze in more movement, I'd love to know what you have to say. So send me an email at Cheryl@missionwellness.coach. Thank you so much. Have a good day.